Hey, welcome to the 40 Finance channel. If you're a subscriber or you watch a lot of my videos, you know that I promote Seeking Alpha quite a bit. I use the core tool, Seeking Alpha Premium, all the time. And every once in a while, somebody will ask me a question and say, why don't you do Seeking Alpha Picks, or Alpha Picks as they call it. And Alpha Picks is different, even though it sits inside of the website. This is essentially a stock picking service. This is a service that tells you when to buy a stock, obviously in their opinion, when to buy, when to sell, and it's based on not only the Seeking Alpha quant score, but there's also humans behind it that go along with the picks and sort of vet them out. And then I think it's about twice a month. Twice a month, they will issue a buy alert for 2 stocks. And in addition to buys, you also get sells when the momentum changes on stuff that's already in the portfolio. And once again, this is also tied to the Seeking Alpha Quant rating, but vetted out by the people behind the scenes. And if you go back on performance, you have 120% gains, which is great. Keep in mind, though, and this is important, anytime you're talking about a stock picking service, you need to know what the performance timeline is. And in this case, when we're talking since inception, we're talking since July 1st, 2022. And as they highlight here in calculating performance, it's based upon buying every alpha pick on the pick date using the opening price. This also includes selling picks, which are displayed on the Remove tab and uses the closing price of the sell date. And this right here, for me personally, is one reason that I don't use alpha picks. You have to be in a position to buy these stocks when the ratings are called. And in this service, you're talking about having to buy 2 stocks a month that, give or take match the percentage of the portfolio that Seeking Alpha is investing in. So flipping over here to the portfolio tab, I can't show you everything because it's obviously a subscription based system. But if I go down to the last couple that were picked, the sort of oldest in the portfolio, the holdings right now, 3% for United Rentals, 3.5% for CAP, and 5.5% for Powell Industries. These didn't start at that holdings level, right? They're actually up quite a bit. But if you think about it, you have to be able to simulate this portfolio on a scale that matches your liquidity. So for me, to be honest, like even let's just say $100,000. I don't have a spare $100,000 to recreate this portfolio. Now, you don't have to do $100,000. This would easily work with 10,000. I think it'd be pretty hard to do with 1,000 because you're going to need basically 1% on these new picks. So if you're coming in tomorrow, you're going to need to think on how you want to start this. Do you want to mimic the holdings, which includes winners from the past couple years, right? So does AppLovin return 450% going forward? That probably seems unlikely. You probably missed the boat on that one, right? But you could start off fresh from where the picks are today, and let's just say buy 1,000 worth of whatever the next couple stock picks are that come through. Or if you have a larger amount of money, maybe you do have the $100,000, you can break it into percentages of what exists in the portfolio today. So for me personally, I don't talk about alpha picks because I don't think it really aligns with the way that I buy stocks. I also like to do my own research. They do offer a couple of different strategies you can use these picks for outside of recreating the portfolio. You could buy at least 5 strong buy stocks from the existing portfolio. You could buy the entire portfolio, and you can use alpha picks as an idea generation tool, read the analysis, and choose stocks that best suit your strategy. This is probably what most people do. But if you're going to sign up for a service like this and you're going to let's say, question the returns, or you're going to be one of those people who is out there and saying, you know, I bought one stock from AlphaPix, that stock went down 6 months later. You're not doing it right, and you're not being fair to the service. I looked at the portfolio today, and it has about 40 stocks in it. So if you buy something like AlphaPix or any other subscription, stock picking subscription, it's really unfair to say that you bought, let's just say, Powell Industries last year and it hasn't returned anything. You know, that's the whole concept of a portfolio. That's the whole concept of an S&P 500 or a QQQ. There's going to be losers, but the bigger winners are going to be the things that get you over the top. So I can tell you just as a preview that they have everything charted and they have the dates for the buys and the sells. For me though, on this channel, you know, I spend most of my time talking about the QQQ and the things that are inside of it. So I use the regular Seeking Alpha Premium, which is the subscription that unlocks all of the core features of Seeking Alpha. It does not give you AlphaPix. That's totally different. But as far as, you know, building portfolios, and you do get access to the quant score, the difference is you have to interpret it yourself. All right, so this is the screener and premium, and I'm just going down on the quant rating. You can see there's, you know, several strong buy stocks according to the quant score, which takes into account you know, EPS projections, general price momentum, a lot of things go into it. The difference is on Seeking Alpha Premium versus AlphaPix is it's pretty much up to you to go into the strong buys and sort out what you think is the, let's just say, strongest buy. And then, of course, you'd have to do that twice a month if you want to follow the AlphaPix procedures. So that's the difference, right? You get somebody doing it for you. If you're like me and you're more of a researcher and you know, like, fundamentally what you're looking at as far as the cues and the things that go into that, there's probably not as much need for AlphaPix. But of course, like I do all the time on this channel, I do think there's a tremendous amount of value in Seeking Alpha Premium, which is the core subscription. It's actually cheaper. And if you want to learn more about both of these and compare them for yourself, check out the links in the description for a discount and 7-day free trial. I'll also put my video about Seeking Alpha Premium down below. Kind of goes through all the different features with that. But the real goal today was just to explain why, hey, why is the guy who's always talking about Seeking Alpha, he doesn't talk about AlphaPix? And for me, it's just because it's a different strategy. And I do think it requires a pretty decent sized investment if you really want to follow it to the T and replicate the performance that they're getting. An investment at that level, for me personally, is just not something I'm interested in making. However, the service has, you know, thousands of subscribers. So obviously there's people who have, let's just say, the kind of extra money that you might need to replicate a portfolio like that. So anyway, I hope this explains everything. I hope everybody's doing well. Don't forget to check out those special offers down below. We'll see you on the next video.